Hey folks, Mike McGee here. Today we're going to do our summer hay cutting. It's not going to be as big, but it's going to be very unique. Let's go cut. Alright, here we are in the orchard. This is the same place we mowed hay back in the spring, and what a difference we find here now. In the spring, we were cutting grass. It was beautiful. Bless me. We were cutting orchard grass, timothy, and fescue right here, and it was beautiful. Now, the grass really doesn't constitute a whole lot. It will be good to have in this hay, but the majority of what we're mowing right here, look at this. I'm going to cut one. This right here is a legume, just like a bean in the bean family. It will sort of put you in the mind of soybean, but it's not a soybean. This has the exact same protein content of a soybean, which is always between 20 to 40%. It falls within that perimeter somewhere. The fiber that's in it is also the same, 20 to 28%. So you're basically looking at a wild soybean for all practical purposes for animal consumption. 20 to 40% crude protein is mighty good. People would be proud to come into an area and plant something in their hay crop that would boost the protein to that point. And yet we didn't plant a thing. It's here naturally. This is what comes up every year at this time here. The crazy thing is, tons of people would see it as a weed, spray it, kill it because they want that beautiful grass hay. Humans can be strange, what can I say? But there's a major difference between a soybean and a beggar's lice. This is a soybean. This is a beggar's lice. They're both about the same age. This here's starting to develop beans. This here's starting to develop the little pods as well. What do you notice about that? Well, this one is much bigger and much thicker. Even the leaves are thicker, puffier. The stalk is just tremendously thicker. This beggar's lice here, much thinner and much smaller. What does that have to do with making hay? Well, of course, this is better because it makes more, right? Possibly yes and possibly no. Here in Tennessee, we don't get that many days without rain. I think we've got 4 or 5 days in the forecast with small chances. So this right here is going to dry out much quicker than this right here. What's the purpose in it drying out? Number one, we don't want it to spoil, mold, and rot. Number two, we don't want to burn our barn down. There have been many people in Tennessee have burned their barns down putting soybean hay in their barns. It looks dry, the leaves were crunchy, the stems seem to dry, but it is very difficult to get these thick stems to dry out. Whereas these here, they're much thinner, much thinner. So I'm excited. We're going to get in here, we're going to mow this, and in a few days, we're going to get out here and rake it and pick it up. And there's also a special way to go about raking this so that you don't knock all the leaves off, because that's where the protein is, and we don't want to lose all our protein. Let's get after it and get her done. Else we're going to talk about is Cerisa lespedeza. This stuff is considered a nuisance and sprayed and killed by a lot of farmers. This stuff is basically a glorified alfalfa. That's what it is. And it's even better for horses than alfalfa because it's easier on their liver. It's got around a 13% protein, 32% fiber, and it's another one that's got leaves that we don't want to fall off after it dries. So we're going to get in here and mow it, and we're going to have us some hay. All right, there you have it. Got her mowed. Got strips in between the trees. I can't get with that. I'm not sure if I'll have time to get over here and weed eat that. I could make hay out of that in between the rows if I weed eated it today. We've got company today, so I don't know that I'll have time. But anyway, we've got her mowed. It's time for the sun to do its job. I say let's have some heat, some dry, some hot sun, some wind would be nice. And we'll get out here and get this done. All right, this is several days later. You can see it's dry, dry. I was wanting to rake this in the morning to show you what it means to rake hay that's encased, because this is leafy and I need it to be encased. But the problem is, I believe it's gonna rain this afternoon. We just missed one by a hair last night. About 9 o'clock, we had thunder, lightning, but it didn't rain. So I feel quite fortunate about that, but they're saying 24% tonight. But in my estimation, I have already heard thunder. I think our chances are quite a bit higher than 24%. And my inner homesteader is screaming, get that hay off the ground. So even if we lose some leaves, that'll be better than if it gets poured the rain on while it's dry as a chip, because it's just gonna soak that water up. It's gonna leach out the nutrients. We're not gonna get very much good at all. If it stays in there and rains a lot, we won't get it at all. So I'm gonna crank up. I gotta drop my rake down and get it ready to roll, and we're gonna start raking hay. Boys are going to be bringing over the big car hauler. It's 24 foot, it's enclosed. Once we get the hay in there, it wouldn't matter if it rained while we're actually in the field. So they're going to bring that because it's a lot safer as far as keeping the hay dry. Is it hot, kid? Where's me a rake? A fork. I need to fork some. In the back of the truck. You were supposed to say there's no more and that you wanted me to watch. Who do we have in here? Hard working man, Matt. Wow, you scooted that all the way back. That's awesome. We got barley in that white bag back there. We've been feeding pigs. We're gonna have hay in here. Hey Matt, I'll tell you one good thing that'll make you smile. We don't have to put this in the barn. Look at him smile. This will probably be fed to the cows. And yes, we are losing a lot of leaves, and that's just common when you have to rake it dry like that. But that's better than losing it all. The drier the hay, the worse the rain. If it's green hay and you just mowed it, rain won't hurt it much at all. But if you let it cure and then it rains on it, you're pretty much done in. There you go, sir. I'll trade you right out. Oh, Joel, he says he's glad he got his driver's license. Watch the door. Yeah, I'll get one eventually. Oh, yeah, for now we're just gonna have to do this. David, your professional opinion, is this dry enough? Most of it. Yeah. Sucker's life is this tall, but the grass is short. It's that time of year where the grass just ain't going to grow much. But it's excellent feed at that stage. Okay, we're done with this row. It ain't bad for a new driver's license owner to be able to back a 24-foot car hauler. Not bad at all. And I just heard thunder. I think with the truck engine you may not have heard it on the camera, but I heard thunder that direction. Turn to the left right now. It looks like you're going to be all right. He came 6 inches from knocking an apple off the tree. I can hear them trailer brakes a-humming. I bought this trailer to move my mom to Indiana when she wanted to move up there. And I got to go see Mr. Eric Hale at his house. We gotta get her done, boys. Y'all hear that thunder? There's thunder in the air, boys. got it done. We had to knock it out in a hurry because there is some rain right over there, and you can feel it in the air, boys. It is so humid. This hay is almost encased the way it is. It's still a little crunchy, and we lost a lot of leaves, but it'll just go in the ground, fertilize the ground. This is the first year we've made hay off this particular orchard, and it's the second time this year that we've done it, so it won't hurt for a little fertilizer to go in the ground. But what we've done here is we have taken away the job of throwing it in the barn. We don't have to throw it in the barn, we're done. That makes me feel pretty good. In effect, we turned our 24-foot cow hauler into a barn. And also what that's going to do is it's going to make it where we can easily pull it down there and feed the cows. Woohoo! So I'm happy about that. It looks like we could fit about that much more in again, but we probably won't. I think we're done with hay for this year. And according to the looks on the boys' face, they're mighty happy about that. And by the way, the soybeans are coming up beautifully in the old potato patch. We got 750 pounds of potatoes out of that. And here comes old Joe, letting the old Chevrolet eat. Them boys are good boys. Best working boys in the county. And that's a dirty trailer. Look at them clouds. And look at that corn. So anyway, I guess that's it for this video. We're mighty happy we got it in before the rain hit. If you're going to be doing this kind of thing, you're going to have to become your own weatherman, because the weatherman, he'll do you dirty. But that's all we've got for you today, folks. We hope you have a great day. We'll see you on the next video.